Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. This is reaction to Monday Night Raw on Monday. Undertaker, his new, the new stipulation for the Undertaker versus Shane match is going to be, Vince says that if Undertaker loses, he's not going to be able to wrestle at Wrestlemania anymore. From listening to Wrestling Observer Radio, they were not able to put the stipulation of Undertaker must retire if he loses, because I guess he's already booked to wrestle on the European tour, which is going to be coming up, or at least he's going to be making appearances there. Still kind of weird after all the years Undertaker really only wrestling at WrestleMania, and now the last few years he's done the Mexico tour. He came back, he worked SummerSlam, he worked Hell in the Cell, he was at Battleground. Kind of funny to see Undertaker around the main roster more often than not, but honestly, to me, with this stipulation, put in there, and Vince McMahon acting like a dick to Undertaker all of the time, really rubbing it in Shane's face that he owns Taker, that Taker is his bitch, and Taker's going to do his bidding at WrestleMania. I'm really going back to that. I think I actually got this from another podcast or somebody else's video, but it honestly just makes so much sense that Undertaker would go in there to defend his legacy, and he's going to put up a fight against Shane. And at the end, I can see him just hitting, a huge tombstone on Shane, and then basically just rolling Shane on top of him, basically sacrificing himself, sacrificing his career for the fact that he believes Vince needs to be out of wrestling, that Vince has, pushed the buttons of so many people for so long, basically trying to make this all about him, and a new breath of fresh air with Shane McMahon running Monday Night Raw is the right thing to do. Now, then the storyline would continue to, how is Shane going to keep the authority, being, Triple H, being Stephanie McMahon, being Vince McMahon, how is he going to keep them, out of the limelight? I can see easily Vince just disappearing, and maybe even taking a tombstone during the match, or some sort of a big maneuver from Undertaker, which is supposed to signify his death. But we all know that when the angles get to where they get to, around fall and winter, normally in October, normally in December, somewhere around then, they know the golden goose to build up ratings, that for people to know that wrestling is about to try and be good again, is when Vince comes back. And when Vince comes back is when basically all the scripts go out the window, and they actually tried to put on a great show. I think that Shane and Taker are going to have a great match. I think there's going to be a lot of interference. I think there's going to be a lot of run-ins. I think there's definitely going to be a lot of big pops during this match. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But people have been asking me, when the stipulation was going to be put in there, that if Taker loses, he was going to be forced to retire. And I always kept on saying that I didn't think it was coming, but now it's here. And the reason why I didn't think it was coming was for the reason that I just thought it just made the outcome too obvious to me. So we'll have to see. I'm not a writer, I'm not a booker, I'm not anything. I'm just a guy with my iPhone in front of my face. I think Shane's winning, and that makes me think that the Triple H versus Roman thing, I definitely think it's Roman's time. I wish Roman would win the championship, but Triple H keeping it makes a lot of sense with Shane being in charge. Shane, said that basically he shows up to Monday Night Raw the night after WrestleMania. He's gonna fire Stephanie. He's gonna fire Triple H. You can't fire Triple H if he's the champion. But then again, you gotta let Roman Reigns, the guy who's supposed to be the #1 guy in the company, climb all the way to the top and not be able to reach that belt again. He can win the belt at Backlash. He can win the belt at Extreme Rules, Payback, SummerSlam, but it's not WrestleMania. And that's what people remember. People remember WrestleMania.